Hey everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Sam, joined by Audrey, and we have Katie here from our publisher and developer relations team.
Hello, hello.
You are here to show us some Hollow Knight Silksong.
Absolutely. So Hollow Knight was one of my favorite games of last year, and this is the sequel. So we're taking reins with Hornet. We're going to go into the first part of the demo, which gives a little bit of backstory as to what this game's all about.
And so this is, of course, coming from Team Cherry. Fantastic folks, hard at work wrapping up the game. So a lot of interesting development going on, but it's awesome that we can share a little bit of an early look of this game.
Yeah, so we're getting a little bit of a poem here. We're not really sure what's going on, why she was taken to this kingdom, and that's really part of the mystery to solve, is why was Hornet taken here?
And it is just beautifully executed, I think, as you'd expect anybody who played the original Hollow Knight. It's so atmospheric, it's so beautiful, and really you can immerse yourself in this world and in the characters.
Really haunting, gorgeous environments.
And so here we're starting off right at the very beginning of the game, giving you a little bit of a sneak peek about what is going on. But hang tight with us. After we've done the early section of the game, we are going to be hopping a little bit further into the game, and at the very end, if we're lucky, tackling a boss fight and trying our luck there as well. So here we see Hornet.
And she's imprisoned, and that is not a state that she's used to being in.
No, it seems like there's some sort of seal of binding as well on this. So I'm not sure what's going on. Again, it's part of the stories to unravel that mystery among many others.
And I think if you haven't played the original Hollow Knight, you might not know too much about Hornet. She is not a character I would expect to end up in a cage.
No.
She's a very powerful, interesting being from the original game who... she's just such a competent fighter. You've got to wonder what happened to lead to this turn of events for her.
Yeah, in the original Hollow Knight, she's both friend and foe, and quite a formidable foe. I know quite a few people that had quite a challenging time taking her down in the boss battles.
Yeah, in some ways, she's kind of like the princess protector of Hallow Nest, so she's got a very significant role to play there.
Yeah.
I love how cool she plays it, even as she's falling there.
Still good.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if she's got wings, but she's got courage, that's for sure.
That is true.
So we are starting here in Moss Grotto. This is the bottommost level in Hollow Knight. As part of the story, part of Hornet's adventure is ascending to the top, and you really start all the way at the bottom.
And exciting for Hollow Knight fans is this is a brand new kingdom. This is a place we've never been, a place called Farloom. So you really don't know what to expect as you jump in here and start exploring.
And look at all these vibrant colors in this environment. It's really very stunning.
Yeah, Team Cherry has really upped the ante on the detail in their environments. This reminds me of, the Queen's Garden and from the original Hollow Knight, but with a lot more... the first game had so much more detail, so this is really taking it to a whole nother level, how much depth and details in this world.
And with the audio design, the little noises in the background, the kind of bugs and the moisture, you can almost feel the humidity as you're exploring this first area.
And you have a nice little edge grab there, which is new. Hornet really has her own play style, very acrobatic.
Yeah, so she feels different than the Knight from Hollow Knight. She has a little bit more weight to her. She's a little bigger as well, so she can jump higher. She definitely is much more acrobatic and flourished than the Knight was. So we are heading over here. These enemies seem to have some sort of curse. What that curse is, what that haunting is, we need to solve that as part of our journey. It's different than the curse that was in Hollow Nest.
And it is kind of tragic as you're exploring it here and you find all these little bugs. In some respects, they're still toiling away at their life's work, but their minds aren't their own anymore. And you really feel for them because as you go through and you meet these characters, my heart breaks for these poor little bugs, I'll be honest.
Yeah, bugs get a really rough deal in these worlds. They seem to, like in Hollow Knight, they had sentience at some point and then they almost become a hive mind again. In this story, they're also possessed by which force. It might tie into something related to sort of the themes that we see often, like the bells, some of the religious undertones, but that's just a conjecture on my part.
And we mentioned this previously, but this is the very beginning of the game. So
Yes.
things are a little slower here, but they ramp up.
They absolutely ramp up. The enemies get harder, you get more moves, you get more tools. And right now she doesn't have many actions. I can jump, I can hit, I can dash downward like that, and that's about it. But there's much more to learn as you progress through the world.
It's really satisfying to get those new abilities as the game progresses.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she's always learning. I mean, if it seemed like she was a seasoned foe in Hollow Knight, you guys haven't seen anything yet. So we are entering this first boss fight here against Moss Mother. And I have quite an audience in the background.
Oh, her kids are coming to watch. Hi, Bob. Do good. So as you are focused on the combat, we will let you wail on this Moss Mother. I think, Audrey, we've talked about this in the past, but both of us are really big fans of the classic side-scrolling Metroid style of gameplay.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think, for me, when I first played Hollow Knight, was the thing that really jumped out at me. Like, this is so true to that experience in terms of the progression, the backtracking, the deep exploration, this sense of mystery, but also just the ambiance. It's a spooky game.
It's so true. You can tell that the developers really love that genre, but they really made their own mark on it.
And with the art style, it's so interesting as you're interacting with characters and bosses and enemies. And Team Cherry is packing, I think, over 150 new enemies in here. Karama! There's no real different treatment. So here, is this an enemy? Is this a friend? You don't know. You feel this nervousness in your gut whenever you meet somebody new.
Mystery around every corner.
Yeah, you never know if it's going to be friend or foe, if the haunting of the kingdom has affected them in some way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone you approach, you're like, oh, should I be afraid? Are we going to be friends?
Yeah. In this case, I do believe, I got some tidbits from Team Cherry. I do believe that's the church keeper, who may be a mentor of sorts for Hornet throughout the journey.
Looking forward to seeing a little bit more about them for sure. So here we are jumping ahead. Katie, you've got us a little bit further into the game. What can you tell us about this spot?
So we are in Deep Docks, and this is an industrial region of Farloom. We've got a lot more actions at Hornet's disposal right now. You know, and really when I say a little bit further into the game, not by very much.
No, we're not going to spoil anything.
We don't know where, but we are still very early on in the game here.
And just a moment ago there, you collected some of the new currency with the rosaries.
Yeah, so one good thing to point out is we've got some rosaries here. That's the currency for Farloom. And we have some shell shards here. So as you traverse, you'll be collecting two different types of items to, one, purchase items, and two, replenish your tools and get new tools.
Something to watch out for, though, is that if you actually are defeated, you will lose your rosary beads. You'll hold on to your shell shards, but you'll lose all those nice rosaries.
Yeah, so that's why, you know, earlier if you guys noticed, we had a rosary string, which is a really helpful item to not lose your currency.
Because if they're tied on a string, you won't drop them so easily.
You have to stop the urge to break apart the string.
Which was, when I played the first time, obviously the first thing I did. It was like, break? Yes.
Of course.
So a little bit of platforming here. We're heading over to this lovely little gentle flea.
Oh, hello.
So this is a flea, one of the loveliest bugs in just all the worlds. I've been terrorized by fleas in my past.
It's okay.
It's personal stuff. But, you know, for these guys, they have come to Farloom for enlightenment. So again, some religious undertones to this game.
How's Bellhead?
Yeah, Bellhead, he has a hard head. So we're going to have to go for his undercarriage, if you will.
And it's interesting, coming right back to thinking about the title of the game, Silksong. There is a really interesting kind of musical undertone to the game. We're seeing bells hanging in the background, chimes. Some of these enemies we're seeing have a kind of musical component. Silk, on the other hand, if we talk maybe about the UI elements here, Silk plays quite an important role for Hornet as well.
Yeah, so she's got a similar setup that the Knight had in Hollow Knight. Instead of soul, she uses silk. So when you do fight enemies, you accrue more silk. There's also some reservoirs of sort, like in the spindle here, to acquire more.
And that goes onto your spool in the upper left. So right now you've got a nice stash ready to go.
Yeah, I've got a nice stash of silk, so I can heal really quickly. That's another difference from her to the knight is the ability to heal without having to charge. She can charge super quickly. She can charge mid-air. So in those tight boss battles, you still need to think, but perhaps one less thing.
Just grabbed that dot key off that poor bellhead.
He doesn't need it anymore.
I think he's, yeah. So as you see, these guys still continue to work. So they're haunted by something, but there's still some sort of goal that they're working toward. At least for these bellheads here, it seems that they're gathering all this coal to send up to the Citadel, which is high above in Farloom.
So I wonder if next time we see an enemy, if we could try something else out, because we've got one other icon at the upper left that we haven't talked about with the straight pins.
Yeah, so much like the knight, again, there's all these similarities, but key differences. So instead of charms, she has tools. So using the R button, I can throw a straight pin out. We'll get out of this lava pool here so I can better...
And you can dash across that, but you can't linger.
No, I learned that the hard way.
Gotta keep moving.
So, and again, another movement, or action change rather, is that she can dash. So after you dodge, you can get out of dodge quickly by sprinting. So we're gonna head over here, get this math shard, collect 4 of these, and you'll get another math shard, which is basically your health. We'll go again and heal. And I want to get a little bit more health until we've got a boss battle coming up against a rival character called Lace. So I'd like to have as much health as I can get going into it. As you get further into the game, it gets much more challenging. So collecting...
In order to rival Hornet, Lace must be pretty powerful. So you're going to want that health.
Yes, I need some more armor.
And this is a little mysterious.
Yeah, like all things, in this game, nothing's placed without purpose or intent. It's a riddle of some sort, and at this point we won't be able to solve it, but noting the bells, I think that's another thing that'll come up a lot more in this game.
One thing that's interesting as well that we haven't really touched on, but folks may have already noticed as they're listening to the game and the audio, Hornet actually has a voice, which is quite distinct from the Knight from Hollow Knight. He was silent. The fact that she actually speaks and vocalizes, she's got exertion sounds, but it also changes how she interacts with other characters.
Yeah, so we're going to have a little scene in a bit where we do engage in dialogue. She's not a silent protagonist. She's got a voice, she's got an opinion, and
A really fun personality.
And
these guys are really going for you.
The waves of dock workers put me on mute generally.
Oh, no worries.
But a couple different enemy types here. In addition to the bellhead, we've got this lovely shield bug that's...
And now I wonder if that's like half of a cymbal or part of a drum kit. They're all arming themselves with musical implements. I don't know. I mean, the guys wearing bells on their heads. It's practical and charming.
Yeah. Perhaps I rudely interrupted band practice, so...
How could you?
Understood.
It's a high school band team.
High school band team.
They'll never win nationals now.
They'll never win anything again because they're all dead. So
so it goes.
Still more pit.
Or are they? I don't know. Their bodies are still here.
They're just taking a little nap.
Yes.
Little nap.
Rest for a little bit, and I will head up here. We're going to unlock a save bench. Those work similarly to Hollow Knight. I can both save here, and then also it serves as a checkpoint. So looking at the top left, you'll see I've got that straight pin meter. It's totally depleted right now. So when you do go back to the bench, you have to pay to rebuild your tools. So it does function a little differently than the heal and the special attack, which goes from her silk. You actually have to use shards for the tools.
Oh, I love her.
So this is Forge Daughter, and she's going to help Hornet out with some tools throughout the journey.
And I do love her little assistant down here. He is so dedicated to his task. Whatever's going on in the kingdom has not affected him.
No.
He is still shoveling away for Forge Daughter.
He's shoveling away for a better purpose here. So we'll talk with the smith a little bit here. I love that she talks in the royal we. She's not talking about her and Balo. She's talking about just her.
Yes.
And she actually introduces another interesting crafting mechanic that we can't show too much about just yet, but maybe we can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this is the first time we're meeting her, so we're not able to, engage with her and get more tools, but, rest assured that Hornet is going to have just as a vast tool set as the Knight had in Hollow Knight. So he's kind of rude.
Got a real thick bell on his head. You're not getting through.
Okay,
She's
just one
laughing
more. All
about
right, there we go. Yeah,
my
she's
goodness.
her respect is shaky for him.
I love the
so-
little sounds all throughout the game.
The sound effects and the music as well are fantastic. They have the incredible composer from the previous game here, Christopher Larkin. His work is so good and
so
really
great.
puts you in the mood as you visit these different spaces, and they have very different feels and personalities.
Very atmospheric, yes.
All right, so heading up here, we have the dock key. And we are going to enter the boss's chamber.
Good thing you lifted that key earlier.
I sometimes forget when I do those things so far in the past. So Lace is part of a group who's going to impede Hornet's journey to the top of Farloom.
And she gives you a run for your money as well. She is speedy.
Yeah, so I practiced this. I won't say how many times I practiced this before the stream. We'll just say that I invested quite a lot of time in learning her pattern.
We're
'cause
rooting for you.
It's not just action, it's strategy and learning the movements, learning your spacing. And what I learned from a friend at work was it's almost like a reactive battle. Based on what actions she chooses, that's how I should then engage with her.
Yeah, if you try and just go in there and attack without thinking too far ahead, it's not going to turn out well for you. I can say from experience.
Yeah, I can say from 50 losses, have
So-
some patience.
And also note that she's not the kind of enemy you want to battle while talking. So good job.
So back on mute, we're gonna.
So one thing Audrey and I can talk about as we cheer you on from the sidelines, in addition to some of the other things we've talked about where folks who played Hollow Knight will have some familiarity, we can't show it just yet, but they are also integrating a map system. True to Hollow Knight fashion, though, I think you're not just going to be given a map.
Oh no.
You're
You
gonna
have to
do
earn
some
your
work
keep
for it, I
here.
imagine, but it will be so helpful as you're traversing this world, backtracking. There are going to be so many secrets that you'll uncover that maybe you can't quite solve puzzles right from the get-go, but being able to reference that back as you gradually unlock this world, as you slowly try to climb to the top, is going to be, I think, really helpful.
Oh yeah, I think that players are going to rely on that map.
And it's an interesting kind of shift where in Hollow Knight you're really delving deeper and deeper into the world, sort of descending into darkness. Here, what
the
Hornet has to do is climb up. You
Well done.
Dude.
Well met.
nice.
I don't know
done.
what you guys have said the past 2 minutes.
That's all right.
Don't worry about it.
Ambient noise.
Good job.
Just the white noise you needed.
The soothing voices of conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think I breathed for like 2 minutes. So that's an intense fight. You can't play that offensively. You've got to play a bit more defensively. But with that, we've entered this chamber here.
And are we allowed to show anything past this chamber?
No.
That's all right.
Just a nice tease for players at home.
No.
We will let folks wonder.
Yes. The bell will toll and
For whom? For you.
for you to solve.
Well, thank you so much for giving us this early look and taking us through some space in the game. What can we say so far about release plans for this?
So Hollow Knight Silksong is coming soon. Team Cherry are unfortunately not here. They're hard at work in Australia finishing the game, and hopefully we'll have some more updates soon because this is just a taste and I need the entree now.
And we know it's going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Hollow Knight was a blast.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, again, folks who are watching, that was Hollow Knight Silksong from Team Cherry. Audrey, Katie, thank you so much for coming up and hanging out here. And folks at home watching, please don't go anywhere. Next up, we're going to be showing you some new Overcooked 2 DLC. It's going to be a blast. Thanks so much for watching, and please hang out.